I'm David Reed, and this is The Engine Room. Hello and welcome to another Engine Room. Today we have a very special guest, Steve Barton. Thank you, Steve, for coming.
No, you're welcome.
So, Steve Barton, tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Okay.
Where were you born?
I was born on the coast of Essex.
I thought you were going to say on the 12th of... No, not.
On the 22nd, no. On the coast of Essex.
Okay.
So for those who don't know Essex in England, it's about 80 miles from London, east of London.
Okay, east of London.
East of London.
Essex. What's on the coast? What towns?
Not a lot.
No, that's what I was trying to say.
So it's small towns. So the biggest town that people may have heard of is Colchester or Chelmsford.
Okay.
But on the coast, they're small villages, like 1,000, 2,000 people.
Okay.
2 or 3 pubs, which
So
is good as a
it's all
kid.
that matters. Well, older kid, obviously. Not little kids.
Not little kids,
not
but
pubs,
15, 16,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy. So what was growing up like? Were you in a town? Were you?
No, I come from a very small village, so lots of farmland. I actually kind of lived on a farm, basically.
Really?
Kind of my unofficial stepdad owned a farm, poultry, pigs, and that was my childhood.
Wow.
Basically working up there, living up there. Lots of hard work, but all I remember is a lot of fun.
My farms are. I think kids in farms is a must. Like only because my dad worked in the agricultural business, so he would have us on farms as in the summers and.
But you get to do things 10 years before you should.
Yeah.
Like driving tractors, vans, welding, cutting things, operating heavy machinery.
Yeah.
All at the kind of age of
And
12
animals.
or 13, you know?
I think my older brother does it, like has his kids manage animals when they're young, you know. Of course, a bunch of them become farmers, you know. So.
That was kind of what I had intended to do, but obviously...
Did you think that's where you would be going?
I kind of did, and not necessarily running a farm, but I was going to do a course, or when I went to university, in agricultural biochemistry.
Really?
Because I really liked chemistry as a kid.
Okay.
And I did very well at school in chemistry. And
So
I'd
you're putting the
applied
two
to colleges and kind of got accepted to Aberystwyth, which is in Wales. And
guessed.
I completely failed all my A-levels.
Oh, really?
Every
like
single one.
completely
Completely. As in, do not even pass an F. You know?
Wow. That's
It's
wild. So
because-
that didn't happen.
Yeah, because kind of growing up, kind of in rural Essex, there's not a lot to do. So when you start to drive at 17, which
Yeah.
is when you're doing your A-levels, you go to pubs and
You're
you go and do
distracted.
things with your friends, and basically your attention on schooling kind of diminished, and I didn't really focus, and I failed all my A-levels, which was a bit of a kind of shock, because where'd you go next, you know?
Yeah, then you're like, oh.
I'm stuck. I don't want to be stuck in rural Essex, sorry.
Yeah. So what did you do?
So luckily, I had also applied to Plymouth, which was a polytechnic, it's now a university,
They all
for
are,
a different course, and they offered what they called a foundation course, like an extended science, where come in, do a year, and if you pass that, then you can go on to a degree program. So I took that opportunity, drove completely across the other side of the country at 18, and did this course, which was basically math, physics, chemistry, and biology.
Have you been to our Plymouth operations?
I have.
Was that a walk down memory lane?
It was, yeah. I hadn't been back in probably 30 years.
Yeah.
And Plymouth has changed a lot. I mean, there's still the historical part is still hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
But the city itself has really changed.
Yeah. That's wild.
So
So you went to Poly there.
Yes.
And, how was that?
I really enjoyed it. I love Plymouth. It's a great city, small city. It's about 250,000 people. So half the town is students, the other half is Navy, and a few people that live there. And I did. Yeah, the course was actually easy. I mean, it's like doing your A-levels again with a second chance. But while I was there, because for those who don't know it, kind of that Devon-Cornwall border, the countryside is beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic coastlines.
Yeah, people vacation down there.
People vacation there.
Or go on holiday, depending on which country you're from.
Exactly. And I started getting into the geology side.
Oh, really?
Because that's what I ended up getting a degree in, is geology. So I did my foundation course. I got exposed to the geology side and the geology course, and ended up changing my degree from going down an agricultural biochemistry to doing geology.
What made you think that was what you wanted to do?
I have no idea
just
now.
like
I just got. It's just.
White
It
Cliffs
looked
of
like
Dover.
fun,
Oh.
and it was like an inexact science.
Yeah,
because it's you're aging rocks plus or minus 10 or 15 million years.
Yeah. Did you know someone in the space, or you
No,
you said, oh,
just I was there, and
looks
you got
interesting.
exposed to different things, and it's like that's fun, that's interesting.
And did you have a job down the line that you were thinking of, or you're like, no, this is something?
It was literally just something that kind of interested me,
Yeah.
and it was fun, and they did field trips. Which was great.
You're like, field trips,
trips, yep, and every night ended up in a pub, kind of with your mates.
I
and
get the theme.
It was a good, you get the theme.
yeah. I got to ask, were you playing rugby?
I was.
Okay,
yeah.
that was.
And rugby, it's there's a lot of rugby down there.
Those two things go together as well.
So that was a lot of fun as well.
Because I had to play it, and I wasn't like I loved it, but I had to play because of size. You're like,
it was one thing that you kind of had to play it at school in Essex, but when I went to Plymouth, I loved playing it, and the camaraderie and the teammates, and that was a lot of fun. And we used to do kind of field trips on that. We always played against Cardiff.
Okay.
And Bristol, because they were teams
Yeah,
close
they were
to us.
near. Yeah, not everyone understands. It's a little bit north from there, but it's the nearest big cities. Yeah.
So,
well, that's cool, and big rugby players as well. Yeah, the Welsh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. So good. All right, so you go through your college, university time, and then what comes first?
So I finished my geology degree in Plymouth. Actually did really quite well.
Turns out the A-level thing was just a problem.
The A-level was just a blip in my life,
but
actually did really well in geology and decided to do a master's.
Oh, really?
So I didn't have a job lined up. I moved back to London.
Isn't that what master's means?
Yeah, it means I haven't got a clue what to do, so I'm just going to apply for a bunch of things.
I say that with you, everyone else. I'm like, good choice.
But in hindsight, it was a good choice because it kind of diversified my kind of options for jobs. But I did a master's in engineering geology in Queen Mary College in London. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
up to the big city.
Up to the big city, which I kind of knew. We went there a lot as kids, coming from fairly close to that.
Yeah.
And spent my year, did the engineering geology, did fairly well at that, and then it's time to find a job.
Yeah.
And back then, you found jobs by looking in newspapers.
Yeah.
So,
a newspaper. What's that?
Newspaper.
I was in the elevator with someone the other day, and I'm like, what are those? These are newspapers. I'm like, are you from the past? You don't see them that much anymore, but yeah.
So every Thursday, the Daily Telegraph, obviously one of the big papers, came out with the jobs.
Yeah.
And I found an advert for mudlogging. Mudlogging, and it was working for Schlumberger.
Okay.
Didn't know what mudlogging was really.
Or Schlumberger.
Never heard of Schlumberger. I pronounced it, I think, Schlumberger back in the day.
Yeah,
and I got an interview and ended up basically on an overnight train to Aberdeen.
Really?
For an interview with Schlumberger for a mudlogging role. So.
Wow. Straight up to the cold north.
Never been much past London.
Quite
ever.
a train ride. When does this train stop?
Never been on a long train ride. Had never actually been at that point on an airplane.
Oh, okay.
So,
did you went up by train? Did you?
I went up by train from London. There's an overnight sleeper train.
Yeah, I know it well. Unfortunately, so it was our connection to Europe. So
yeah, exactly.
As kids, that's when you're like, we're going to Europe. Okay,
on the train. Yeah.
And they actually had you could put your car in the back of the train.
Wow.
And on that train.
So then you can get off and.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. So you probably didn't know.
No, didn't know that.
There was a car part on the back. Yeah. So you did that. You did the King's Cross up
to Aberdeen. Yeah.
Very cool. So what do you think? You get to Aberdeen, you're like.
Get to Aberdeen.
This is very grey.
Very grey, very wet, because I think it was like February time.
Yeah, okay.
So it's cold and kind of on my own. I'm, kind of 19, not 19 at that point, 21, 22 years old. Never really travelled that far,
When was that in the timeline of what kind of year would that be?
That would have been 98. No, 96.
96. Okay, all right. So I'm trying to think. Business is starting to get okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Schlumberger, what an experience that would have been. They're very different in how they move you around and train you.
They do. They. I mean, there was probably 100 people being interviewed that day, and
really
it was interviewed by HR, by operations. Then they did like a Mensa test. It was a full day experience, and then they awarded people roles. Hired people, about 25 people out of that group, because then they sent you all together down to London to be trained for a week.
Okay.
So they did all the health and safety training, kind of all that kind of, introduction to Schlumberger
Brainwashing.
training, brainwashing, insert the chip when you're asleep in the back of the head. So that was the first time I flew, because they flew me from Aberdeen down to London, stayed in a nice part of London.
Yeah, whole new world.
Yeah, like all kind of trying to sell you on Schlumberger's a great company, kind of, and then shipped you back up to Aberdeen for the RGIT training, the underwater escape training, and which was again quite a unique experience to go through.
Yeah, if you didn't know anything coming in.
Correct.
You're not ready for. We're going to do what?
And then it kind of says, "What have I signed up for?" Because why are they giving me this training? Where am I going? Because obviously I was going offshore North Sea.
Yeah, and you probably didn't have any reference for that.
Not a clue.
Wow. They stick you upside down in a helicopter. You get out the window. All
exactly.
scared.
Punch out a window, and it's like, just sit there patiently until it's fully submerged. It's like, get me out this thing.
It's like on the plane where they say just breathe normally. When that thing gets, you're like breathe normally.
And you could see the people that were doing renewals, because they were literally just sitting there calm as anything.
Yeah.
And all the ones, the newbies, are like, kind of, where's the exit? Let me sit there. Kind of.
Yeah. I'm really worried. Yeah.
And I was right to be worried. So.
Yeah. Intense.
So. And then obviously I started off offshore. I was actually on a mobile rig.
Were you?
In the
Do you remember
fields.
which one?
It would have been the Beryl Alpha.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so it's an old rig, double derrick.
Yeah.
And I started out there. The training kind of ended. They gave you a pair of boots, pointed you to the heliport, and they gave you a little manual of what to do when you got out there.
Not too horrible. I mean, the platforms were okay.
The platform was okay.
Yeah. They're not the worst of things to go to first, but
but
still, you're out in the North Sea. You're coming in a helicopter, probably weather.
And then the very first evening, I was on night shift, and the evacuation alarm goes off.
Really?
Literally the first day on a rig. Evacuation alarm goes off, as in the call to muster. Go to the muster point, the orange flashing light, and it's like, what the hell is this? Kind of off I go, sitting there, and then, because for people who haven't been on rigs, there's a orange red light, and then there's a blue light. Blue light means go to the lifeboats, we're evacuating the rig.
Yeah.
The blue one goes off, literally for like 3 seconds, and I go,
here it is.
Here it is. Like, it really is dangerous being on a rig.
What am I doing?
What have I done? I should have gone somewhere else. And obviously it didn't happen. And I think in my whole career on being offshore, that's the only time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
But it happened on the first day I ever went out.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's something.
it is.
So your first job, what do you think offshore? Are you what was your on? Were you on and off, or were you?
I was on and off, but it wasn't a fixed rotation. It was kind of mudlogging went on when they were drilling, and kind of during kind of completion, downtime. They sent you off, so you'd go out for 7 or 8 days.
Okay.
You'd be off for a week or two, and then go back. Yeah, maximum 2 weeks. And you tended to go to the same rig, but they'd float you around. So you went on to different rigs. Did Witch Farm down in for BP when they were drilling down off the coast of Hampshire, which was a different experience because at night you came back to a hotel in Poole, and you go to the pub.
You're free.
You're free. Whereas on a rig you're kind of stuck a little.
Yeah, with a lot of people who are stuck.
And it was it was a great experience because mudlogging, you started at the bottom. You're really the lowest in the heap.
Mudlogging, what is that? Like
so mudlogging is
that's the mud.
You literally, there's two roles. There's like the sample catcher, which is basically you walk out across the rig where all the cuttings are coming back over the shakers, and you collect a sample at a certain period, take it back, dry it, and then look at it. And then there's more of the kind of, I suppose, the controller, where you're looking at all the pit sensors, all the monitors, and basically recording it. And the most critical actual role of that is to look at the pit sensors to make sure you're not taking an influx of mud, so you're taking a kick, so it's a kind of safety thing. But you really are lowest on the rung.
And you're looking at what's going in, what's coming out of the well, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. Very cool. So how long did you do that?
2 years.
Okay.
So 2 years, I did sample catching. You don't do that much. It's probably 6 months, and then you kind of get promoted up. But it's a lot of quiet time. When you're drilling, you're really busy. But when you're not actively drilling, when you're tripping out of hole, it's really quiet. You're sitting out there for 12 hours, not doing a lot. And this is back in the day, go back to newspapers, where you didn't have your Spotify, you didn't have your laptops, you didn't have computers or your phone. You had asteroids on an Apple Mac. And that was it. And there's only so many hours you can spend playing asteroids, but I am very good at asteroids.
That's your specialty. More of a Space Invaders guy, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't think we had that option.
No, you didn't. not an Apple. Yeah,
So,
you had Apple laptops. That's
so,
pretty cool.
but yeah, the 2 years, and it was a great experience because and Reed Heichel, obviously where I work now, hired a lot of mudloggers because you're involved in all the drilling and you speak to the drilling engineers, you're speaking to the DDs and the MWD hands, you speak to the mud engineer, you go out on the rig floor, you see what the crew is doing. So you really understand all the principles of drilling.
Yeah.
So that was great to do that for 2 years. I never regret that.
Did they train you on drilling, or you're just here's mud, this is how it works, this is what you got to know?
That's exactly
So
it.
it's up to you.
You just pick it up.
Yeah. If you're curious, then that's all right.
Exactly. And you did have a little book from Slumsday with kind of blanked out pictures, and you said fill in the blanks,
Yeah,
so you had to ask some questions,
I did those books. I think I still have them, which is really sad. Like
Yes.
I have that whole set of books, but I kept, because people come in now, I don't know how they're learning, but I was just like, I always thought it was great because it was optional. You didn't have to do
It was optional, but it gave you the ability to walk up to a DD and say, what is this? And they would usually talk to you because they're usually bored as well, like you are.
It's my brand knowledge all came out of that because Reed was there, right? And you'd see all these, like Schaefer was in there, Cameron was in there, and that's how. And when I was starting, when I saw Varco, we were kind of new, so when we made it in with a top drive, I was like, hey, we made it in the book, because it was a big deal. That's how everyone was learning, so it kind of gave you your brand understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Okay, so then what?
So then I got another newspaper and applied to a company called Camco.
Oh, really?
Heichel DNS.
So you tried to leave.
I tried to leave. That is correct, because I did leave.
Not everyone knows the story, but
Camco, yes, I did leave and joined Heichel, which was 1 year later acquired by Schlumberger. So
Couldn't
welcome back.
Maybe they're going to buy NOV next. That's what's coming. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm telling you, I won't be here.
Ooh, okay.
I've been there twice before.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Okay, so you're in Heichel, get bought. What's that like? What are you doing at Heichel?
So Heichel actually became what they called an application engineer.
Okay.
An application engineer is basically looking at all the dull bits. So when bits have been run, and back in the day, nearly all of them came back to the manufacturing plant, which was Stonehouse, which was where I was working. And you evaluated them, and you took pictures with a manual camera with film, that kind of stuff.
I know.
And you looked at the condition of the cutters, and you monitored it, and you recorded it, and then sent it back to engineering so they could evaluate and improve the designs. So again, it's starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because you're out on the shop floor, you see what's going on in manufacturing, you see these dull conditions from Thailand, you see them from Nigeria. So you start to understand all the different designs and the failure mechanisms and feed that back. So again, you got a lot of insight from the drilling side, but also now the drill bit side.
Yeah. So you're you start at the bottom. You're taking the pictures. You're looking at the stuff. Eventually, do you become the guy who's getting the pictures?
What they ended up doing, that is correct, is One Bright Spark had an idea of combining the design engineering group with the applications group. So I became a drill bit designer.
Oh, really?
So a geologist now becomes an engineer.
How about that? Yeah. You eventually made it to engineer.
So I started designing drill bits.
Really?
So, which was a lot of fun.
On what?
On just a basic CAD system.
Okay, so it was CAD.
I think it was a CAD system called Euclid back in the day.
Okay, it would have been early days.
It was very early days. It was not kind of high profile.
Yeah, when I hired on, I had done AutoCAD, and they said, "Oh, good, you can help the engineers and get involved." And I was like, I hated it. I hated AutoCAD. I could use it, but I did not enjoy it.
I liked designing bits.
Well, you also came into it. I had been hand drawing to AutoCAD, so I definitely had this
resistance to change.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. Computers were so consuming for me. Like I would go through a day, and it'd be 8 at night, and I'd be like, how did that happen? Mm-hmm. Like I'm still at work, So I think I didn't like being drawn in so much. But yeah. So you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I liked design drill bits. It was just another step up. It was just another skill set, another knowledge. You started now interacting with the manufacturing engineering, much more with manufacturing, because as you're engineering the product, you have to see it through the manufacturing engineering, and then when it's on the shop floor, you have to, make sure it's built to the intent. And then you're getting engaged more with operations because you're talking to them about, well, what's going on in the application, what do we need, what does the new bit need to have. So you started getting that engagement not in the product center but with the whole organization, which was enlightening for me. It got you in front of customers because now you started talking and presenting to customers about what you've engineered. So
and at this point, is it just Hycolog at that point?
Hycolog, it became Reed Hycolog. They combined the Reed roller cone and the Hycolog PDC.
So was that a Schlumberger had already put the two together, or
no,
how did that work?
Camco put the two together.
Okay.
I think in '98.
Okay.
So I started there at '97. They put
so then
Reed and Hycolog.
You had to put up with those roller cone guys.
We had to put up with them for a year. The cone heads. Yeah. Still don't like them.
It's so funny because not everyone knows this, but the PDC bit was a Hycolog thing, right?
It was, yes.
And I don't know how well known. I'm sure in the bit world everyone knows, but that was a massive deal at that point. I mean, what it was doing for drilling was incredible.
Because go back to that period of time, and it was 80% roller cone.
That's right.
In the globe, and 20% PDC. PDC really in the 80s was very small, and it wasn't until the late 90s. If you go back even to the early 2000s in the US and Canada, this was a roller cone market. We came over from England to talk about PDC bits, and like, what are these limeys coming over to talk about these bits? Kind of
where are you from?
Lost,
Australia? Like, I don't know what you're saying. When I first came, it was funny because people would be like, "What is he saying?"
Exactly.
I needed a handler.
I'm speaking English.
I
What do you
I
speak?
had a handler, and they go, "You talk funny," and I'm like,
"Really?
I'm speaking English." It was fun. Yeah. So that's cool. So, okay. So you go through that. The two come together. Schlumberger buys.
Schlumberger comes along in '99.
'99. Yeah.
And we have to put up with them for 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
3 long years.
Well, what happened during that period is I actually got promoted to the engineering manager for Stonehouse. So now I was in charge of the design group, which I did for about a year. And then somebody decided to move me.
Oh, as they do.
As they do every 3 years. So they offered me a position of a drilling engineer in their technology center in Houston.
Oh, okay.
Well, I actually had 3 choices. It was Houston, Baku, or Brunei.
So Houston,
Baku, or Brunei.
Yeah.
So Houston is what I went for.
Yeah.
And
when did you start writing papers?
Oh,
Because you're a very prolific writer.
I started writing papers when I was in Stonehouse. That would have been about '99.
Okay.
Because I think I've authored about 100 papers.
I remember seeing your name because I was on paper selection on a few, and you see your name all the time. Like I was.
And
like,
it became a little competition because obviously at that period of time, as I started or continued to write them, and then Grant Prico came along.
Yeah.
Grant Prico with the IntelliServe, they were writing a lot of papers.
They were
back then.
IntelliServe had their own section.
That's correct.
In the drilling conference.
So they
when
got
there was
free
only
access.
Them. It was only them, and there was 6 papers.
So I think I went to an annual technology kind of recognition where they recognised papers, and I think I had 5 or 6, and I'm thinking that's a lot of papers, and I suppose it is. And IntelliServe came along, and they had like 16. It's like next year.
How so funny.
Next year I'm going to have 16.
Competitive.
So I ended up writing a lot more, and there was a span of like 7 or 8 years when I was doing the rotary steerable bits and the motor steerable bits. On the product line side, I was writing paper after paper after paper, and all over the world.
I want to say it was cutting edge, but that's kind of too much pun for the moment. But yeah, it was such a big deal at the time. So you're running engineering in Stonehouse.
Yes.
You come to Houston. And your job here was?
So it became the Drilling Engineering Center. So this was the group that kind of assisted regional Schlumberger operations with things like anti-collision on well design, kind of rig sizing, kind of a drilling optimization programs.
Okay.
So again, what the biggest benefit that came out of that, because I only did it for a year. They put me on a month's drilling engineering course back in Nottingham. So literally I come to Houston, I'm there for about a week, and they send me back to England.
We're going to train you in a place called England. Are you comfortable with that? You know?
So I was fine with that. And it was for a month, and they taught me all the principles of drilling engineer from the ground up, which was enormously beneficial.
It's a ton of fun. Like I was probably the same, very geeky on all this stuff. Like I'm like, tell me more.
Exactly. I mean, because they're doing everything from rig sizing, casing design, pore pressure, frac gradient, torque and drag, everything principles of drilling. Which coming out of that, even though I don't use it on a day-to-day basis, I'm not a drilling engineer. you know exactly what your customers are talking about.
Yeah, it's really helpful to have that in your back pocket. Yeah. So you did that for a year, and
I did it for a year and a day because my relocation was a benefit package. I'd have to pay it back if I left within a year.
Okay.
So a year and a day, and I didn't really enjoy that role. I liked kind of the drilling engineering training, but the role I didn't like it. It was mainly because of my boss. It's the only time I've actually left because I didn't like my boss.
Yeah.
He was a micromanager, and it was not a fun place to work. So at that period of time, Reed Hyclog had been spun off by Schlumberger, and Grant Pico had acquired them, and they contacted me, say, "Hey, do you want to come back?"
Okay. And you
So I did.
never left after that.
And that would be 2003.
Yeah. Okay. So your progression inside of Reed Hyclog, since that's been your journey, it's your cult of choice.
Yes, it is a cult, a bit like A&M, you know.
I did. I said that the other day with drill pipe. I was saying, Grant Pico has
very
that same,
similar, very similar.
Like, this is our brand.
Once you're a drill bit person, you're a drill bit person.
Right.
Once you're a drill pipe, you're a drill pipe.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave.
You get the brand tattoo, and that's it. You've got no choice. That's great. So what is your journey inside in the last since you kind of finally made it to the right destination?
But even that was mixed, because obviously then NOV came along. So obviously I came back. Yeah, of course. So I came back into Reed Hyclog, and I came actually into product line.
Yeah.
So I became the product line manager, and at that point there was one of us, which was me.
It was
I hired someone, that became two of us.
It was probably an invented job, because it was. I mean, back in the day, like, there wasn't many product line people.
There wasn't, and it was that aspect of defining the strategy. What is the strategy? Where's this product line going? Where do the customers, what are they seeing their needs are? What are the drilling challenges ahead? So we had, we did create the product line role, and at that point it was very focused on rotary steerable.
Yeah.
So drill bits for rotary steerable, drill bits for motors, as the directional drilling phase kind of really kicked in globally in drilling. And I loved that job. It was a one-man band, and it touched every part of Reed Hyclog. It was sales, operations, engineering, and it was great. And you got so recognised.
You have to run a business without having any authority to run a business.
Correct. So it's
training.
Management by influence.
Yeah, no one has to listen to you.
Absolutely.
They don't have to come to your meeting.
But then you end up, if you do it right and you get the influence, you end up controlling the entire brand strategy for your business. And it was one of the best jobs I did at the time. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, that's cool. And what did that lead to?
Then NOV came along.
We ruined it.
No, they didn't, actually.
Oh.
That was when NOV came along. What happened, for those who won't remember, I think that was 2008, the acquisition of Reed Hyclog. And for about a year, NOV left us alone.
Yeah.
And then we had the downturn. And that was when they made the decision to merge Downhole and Reed Hyclog together. Looking back,
are we going to talk about
terrible
that?
decision.
Are we ever going to? No, let's not talk about it. Okay, talk about it. It was a really bad decision.
It was. I understand the principle at the time.
Even the brand went away, which...
The brand went away. It became NOV Bits. The focus went away because everyone was selling agitators.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. It was
horrible for Bits.
It could have been the absolute decline. It could have been the end if we didn't break it out. So at that point in time, NOV believed product line would be a good thing to bring into the downhole space. So I ended up doing product line for downhole, but they gave me the downhole tools and not the drill bits.
Really?
So,
but I do.
But I do this. So I ended up doing product line for motors and jars, and fishing tools and the like. And it was like, I don't really do this.
Yeah.
But again, it seems to be the kind of sum of my career of, I end up doing stuff that I don't know.
Yeah.
But what does it do? It trains you up. That's now you become an expert on motors and jars, because you can't run a product line if you don't understand the product or the application of the product.
Well, and you had your drilling engineering background a bit, where you're like, okay.
Yeah, you understand the principles of what these tools are being used for.
But
yeah, that's what they ended up giving me, and I did that for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Which I still enjoyed.
Yeah.
But
great products.
It is. I mean, great brand names in there.
Yeah.
But every
So
time comes to an end.
how did you come back to
bits?
To the bit world?
Well, I had one more step before I got back to bits.
Let's hear.
So at that point in time, decided to go down the drilling optimization route.
Uh-huh.
So drilling optimization is something we've played with in the past. We've called things like black box. If people remember, we put them in bits.
And we were trying to avoid it, I think, because of, I'm not going to say why, but we were trying to avoid it. And then suddenly we were like, we're in this
So
space.
we decided to combine a lot of the drilling optimization products together. So we actually created a brand new business. Back in the time, it was DDS. Which I'm struggling now to remember what the acronym was, but I think it's Dynamic Drilling Solutions.
Probably. I'm the same. I'm going through it in my head. Like,
because this is going back to 2014, I believe. And we launched this DDS. It was fated from the first day because we launched it on April the 1st. No joke.
Oh, well, maybe.
And it was a combination of drilling optimization tools, but it also had rotary steerable. It had the MWD tools, so drilling optimization. It had IntelliServe, the wide pipe solutions.
Okay.
So it combined all these products together, which was basically a bunch of new starts, and said, let's go make a business. That was fun.
Was it? Was it really? It was hard.
It was really hard because none of it had a foundation. You weren't taking over a business. You were creating a business, and all you were doing was bolting together bits and pieces. Because part of that also was the MD Topco product line, which was being kind of carved out of rig. But you didn't get really any of the support. It's like, well, take these pieces, and just go,
and
make something out of that, which was again really challenging, but kind of it was really hard work at the start, but also a lot of fun because you are really creating something from new.
Right. So there was a bit of the startup feel.
A lot of the startup feel and a lot of the nervousness about going to financial reviews because you never made any money.
Right.
And literally,
and making money is important.
Making money is important at some point.
I'm just saying that for anybody watching.
And it was really hard because all of it was an investment.
Yeah.
Everything was investing to try and get these products moving and moving forward. And when you didn't really have a strong foundation business unit to kind of fund it, every month you were coming in, maybe you're making $10.
Yeah, I thought you were going to make a lot of money, and someone at some point had
said, you should.
Had said, look, we'll make this much by then. Well, no.
And it was really hard, and we'd come into, like say, monthly reviews, and you're fighting over $100 because it was a make or break between saying, hey, we made $1 this month to, hey, we lost $100 this month. It was, but in the end, I mean, certain product lines obviously went on because obviously that all got carved up again, and kind of, as we know, MD Topco went to Wellsite, then when obviously came its own BU, kind of MPD came out, wide pipe moved over, rotary steerable and MWD moved over, and it was fun times.
Yeah. Was Reed Hyclog's emergence again right after that, or was it just
Reed Hyclog was still
was it bits and then it was Reed Hyclog?
Yeah, there was still kind of remnants. So in 2017 is when Downhole and Drill Bits divorced.
Yeah,
that was the divorce. Early in 2017. I remember the day very clearly because Isaac Joseph was my boss at the time. And it was just after Christmas, New Year, and I went up to see him about a certain topic. And he had his door shut. I went in, and he's sitting there with the segment HR lady, Liana, at the time, and they're looking very serious.
And you're like, this is the day.
And this is the day, because DDS had not been doing great. This is the day, and he's shuffling some papers, and he looks at me and says, Steve, we're going to have to make some changes. Oh. And he said, we're going to take Reed Hyclog drill bits out of Downhole, and we're going to give it to you. And he's like, and they did. They gave us drill bits.
Did you say yes?
I said yes, absolutely. At the time, though, it was still with, as I recall, like the drilling optimization side.
Okay.
So we still had the wide pipe project. We still had the MWD rotary steerable. So it's combined kind of BBC is what we called it, bits, borehole coring, and the DDS side. And it was called Reed Hyclog, but it was run very much as two different businesses.
Did you call it BBC? Because it's a little British.
I didn't. It just came with that acronym.
Okay.
Bits, borehole, and coring.
Okay,
but
just checking.
Yeah, there was that little British kind of tie to it,
Yeah, carry on.
And the aspect is it was really two different businesses, and it's still, what happened was because the DDS side was still a startup.
Yeah.
So from a leadership team, 70-80% of the energy was still on DDS, which was making hardly any revenue.
Yeah.
And BBC kind of been separated from Downhole, great, but it still didn't really have the focus that it needed.
Yeah.
So in 2019, we kind of parceled out the DDS side, and that went to various groups. You know, you can see where they are now, down the hole, and I think obviously MDT or digital now.
Yeah.
And we kept just BBC, which is really the true focal rebirth of Reed Heichel was 2019.
Yeah. The rebirth. And what a rebirth. What a journey.
Indeed, what a journey.
Yeah, it's done incredibly well.
We often look back, and we look back at the kind of 17, 18 numbers. 18 is really the first financial numbers for Reed Heichel. And we've done a couple of updates to the board over the period of time on kind of the birth. And so these numbers are set in my head. So go back to 2018, I think our EBITDA was 2%. So it would have been a negative OP. Our working capital was 64%. Our ROTCE, I think, was 1 or 2%. Our market share was, I believe, 11%.
Wow.
So we look at kind of where we ended 24. Our EBITDA was pretty much on 30%. Our working capital was down to 30%. Our ROTCE, I think, is 37 or 38%. And our market share at the last market share report, I think, was close to 30%.
Yeah.
So pretty much every metric that you want to see
In a tough
improvement in
field,
happened.
yeah, because not everyone knows drill bits. So a lot of players, a lot of big.
If you think about our competitors, our main competitors are some say Baker Halliburton. These are not lightweights.
No.
They have a lot of resource and a lot of capability to squeeze an independent big company out.
Yeah.
Because that's what NOV has given us, is we are part of a large family with a lot of good resource and support, but we're treated as an independent big company, which gives us the freedom to really kind of put our kind of signature out to the industry.
Bringing back the name, how important was that?
Critical. Everyone knows Reed Heichel.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a
internally-
strong brand
internally
recognition.
as well. I mean, there's just a pride and.
Everyone calls it, though, everyone in management seems to call it Reed, which, as a Heichel person,
Do they really?
kind of offends me.
I don't know.
And I often look at myself and says, we need to change that. Who has the power to change this name from Reed Heichel to Heichel?
Who's the
And I'm thinking,
marketing guy?
who's in charge of this?
It's you. So it's Reed Heichel.
It's Reed Heichel, but I think everyone jumps to the
There's
Reed
still
part.
some parts of your organization that play up Reed a lot.
They do. And
We're very proud.
and they should be. I mean, Reed, as we know, Roller Cone, I mean, it's 115 years
That's
old.
right. It's a deep brand.
It's a deep brand. It's come a long way, and it's a strong product. And obviously, we don't make a lot of Reed Roller Cone anymore. It's really such a small percentage of our business, probably less than 3 or 4% of our business. But such a heritage and such a US-based heritage. But obviously, Heichel was the first PDC bit company, first commercial application. So there's a lot of heritage and pride with that. And you know, Heichel as a company's been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
Never made drill bits back then. They were in Louisiana, a logging company. That's where it comes from.
Oh, really? Is that
But
what we're doing? That makes
with
sense.
various acquisitions, it became tied into the drill bits, and they came out in 1974.
Wow. What a journey.
What a journey.
What a journey. So for people who want to know, career, what should I do? What's good advice for people starting in their jobs and getting involved?
To me, I've always said to people in careers paths is don't have a path. You know, don't kind of map out, I want to start here and go to this and this and this, because it very rarely happens that way anyway. But it's that aspect of just try and learn as much as you can. Just, look for more. Yes, you have a job to do when you come in. You're going to be assigned, but look for more, expand. And the one thing that kind of moved the needle on me on a couple of my changes was never be afraid to kind of speak up. To basically, if you have a suggestion, don't keep it to yourself.
And the younger you are, the easier that should be.
Yes. Yeah.
But you feel like in a room, these people all know stuff I don't know, but that's the time to really, because different thinking is really helpful.
I had a couple of opportunities, and my major steps up in Heichel related to the product line roles. And that was actually me thinking of it and writing a memo and actually sending it to the president at the time, just saying, hey, that was Robin McMillan at the time. Hey, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we try this? Yeah. And as the president, he looked at it and said, hey, that's a good idea. Well, it's yours. It's like, great.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Amazing. That's good. That's good. Excellent. Well, that wraps up the show. So we got a good coverage. That was really fun. And thank you for coming.
You're welcome. It's been great fun for me too.
Yeah. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.